Hello people, so today welcome to this week's episode of Creative Isolation by Bev G Star. Today we're going to be making some no-sew pillows. So thank you to all of those that have joined me in the last workshop demonstrations that I have done. Okay, so today we're going to be making some no-sew pillows, or cushions, whatever you want to call them. So just thank you for bearing with me. I'm going to get one of the cushions that I've made previously, so you can see a fine example of what we're going to be doing today. So these no-sew cushions were made from stuffing from other old pillows I had and a piece of fabric that I found around my home. Okay, and again, there's one. The cool thing about these no-sew pillows is that you have to sew them. They're easily made by any of you guys at home, and you will need very limited tools and materials. So for those of you that did read what I posted up earlier about what you'll need, is you will need some fabric and some kind of stuffing to put inside your pillow. Okay, so today I'm going to start with a piece of fabric that is 20 inches by 20 inches. How I came to this the right size of fabric is, my pillows are 14 inches by 14 inches. Let me get you one that will go inside the pillowcase that we're about to make. So this is a cushion that I'm using to work with today. It's 14 inches by 14 inches. What you need to do, your piece of fabric needs to be big enough to cover this, but add 3 inches each side. So it works out that I've got a piece of square fabric here, 14 by 14 in the middle, with 3 inches either side to use our no-sew attachment later. Okay, so the first thing you will need to do is you will need to cut yourself a piece of fabric that's big enough to cover your pillow, plus 3 inches either side, just like so. I'm going to show you the first one I've done today. You have to excuse my home setup. Creativity is what you make. So here's my first piece of fabric. This was an old duvet set. A friend of mine's asked me to make some grey pillows or cushion covers, so this is a great example. So once you've got that, what I would advise is try maybe giving the like running the iron over the fabric to make it really neat first, because you're going to be working with it today. Okay, next thing you need to do is you need to measure the fabric with the 3 inches each side, and let me just show you. You're going to need to cut. Okay, let's just see how good is that. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but what I've done is I've had a 3 inch by 3 inch square on each corner. Now these squares we're going to cut out later, and they are no use to us. They'll just hinder us when we try and put our pillow together. So what you need to do is go around your fabric as your 3 inch by 3 inch square on all corner. Now, if you want your tassels to be longer on the pillow, feel free to. You could maybe add 5 inches each side, and then your squares would be 5 inches by 5 inch, as long as you've got enough room in the centre there for your pillow. Okay, so if I show you again with my cushion, it's actually just touching the sides of the cushion of the fabric here. Okay, so that's step number 2. Step number 1 was cutting the first square piece of fabric, or rectangle, depending on your choice. Your second is to do the squares. Now the third is to cut, is to measure out the tassels. I'll show you now. So we're going to be putting this cushion together by not sewing it today. We're going to be using no-sew technique, and I'm sure all of you at home can do this. So here is our next piece. So what you want to do then is you want to join sides of your cushion up. Okay, so here you have your 3 by 3 square in all of the corners, and then I want you to add your your squares together with a line. Okay, so again I'll show you. That square that I've created in the middle is perfect for me to put my cushion inside of. Okay, you might have to rewind the video and watch it again just to kind of grasp this, but I actually taught myself to do this with just the idea I had in my head, so other people on the internet might find that there's easier ways. So the next piece, what you need to do, here's one I made earlier. Okay, great. I've measured out these lines. Now each of these lines, okay, each of these lines we're going to cut later. Now they're 3 inches long ways and about 1.5 inches wide. These are going to be our tassels that we're going to cut out later. Okay, so once you've done that, so let me just talk you through the steps again. You're going to make your squares at the corners 3 inches by 3 inches, if not more. Okay, then you're going to join those squares up. With line, and you're going to create this square effect in the middle. You're then going to go around and separate or draw. The reason I said you might need a pen, I've used a marker pen, I've actually used a Sharpie, it really doesn't matter. These lines. The next thing you didn't do is get a pair of scissors. Here's some I placed neatly earlier. Okay, these are really good fabric cutting scissors. So what you'll want to do then is start cutting the fabric itself. Now what you'll need to do is, where you've cut those lines, just cut all the way up until the line that you drew for your square cushion earlier. Okay, I say they're really good scissors. And now I've gone live, they just don't seem to work. Okay, here we go. You want to cut up to there. So then you'll end up with this. Okay, I'm going to do a few more of those so you can see the effect it will have. You might be finding this easier to lie it down. The reason I have to stand it up is because I'm limited for camera quality space. Okay, so you will continue to cut all of those out. You would also need to cut these squares that we made at the beginning of the session. Okay, they're no good to us, so you can cut those out. Hang on a second, I'm just going to show you. Drop scissors on foot. Okay, so you're going to cut that square out that we had earlier, that we drew at the start, our 3 inch by 3 inch square. We're going to, and then you will end up with this. Okay, you will have the tassels here, and then you'll have your row at the top. You're going to cut down to those, and you're going to do this all the way around. Okay, so you're going to cut all your tassels that you're going to be using to tie to make the no-sew pillow. You're going to be cutting the 4 corners, the squares that you made, right up to the line that we made in our 3rd or 2nd step. Okay, once you've done that, I'll show you what it will look like, because here's one I made yesterday. You can hear the music today. Big shout out to Mrs. Jones, Plays House. Okay, you will end up with this. Okay, that is what you will end up with. There's your square, there's your tassels. Now you need 2 pieces of fabric to make 1 cushion, okay? So, here we go. Now, the next stage is pretty cool, because it means the process is going to be over pretty soon. So, you've done all this, and you've done this twice or 4 times, depending on how many pillows you want. You're then going to line it up, and you're going to start knotting them together to create a no-sew effect cushion. So, I don't know how I thought I was going to do this, standing up. Okay, so here's your fabric covered cushion with your tassels around the side. We're going to be using these to tie together. Now I'm going to have to do this stood up, so it's probably going to fail, but you guys probably at home will be doing this on a flat surface. It's going to be a lot easier for you. If by chance I'm not good enough to describe this, there's plenty of videos I'm sure on the internet to show you how to make a no-sew cushion. I just wanted to give you some inspiration of things you can do during your lockdown that involve minimal tools and minimal, I don't know, materials. Okay, so that's that. I'm then going to add the other one on the other side. I don't think I think this through. Okay, what you need to do is you need to start tying your cushion. These little 3-inch tassels we've made earlier, we're going to tie them all the way around, like so. What I tend to do to make it a lot easier is tie them on the sides in one different place, so they become a little bit more secure for me. So in a second, when I start on the real side, getting the whole side done, it's a lot easier for me. So, my name's Bev G Star. I don't know if I introduced myself at the beginning of the video today. If you guys are watching, please pop me a line, put me out my misery and say hi, right? It really is easier than I'm making it look. Okay. So every one of these tassels, your 3-inch tassels that you cut earlier, you're just going to tie in a really simple knot, just like so. Thank you for those that are just joining me, commenting on the video to say hi. I really do appreciate it. Big shout out to the kind words and the love. Remember, we're all in this together in our homes with nothing to do. A lot of people struggle with their mental health when they are alone and haven't got purpose or reason. So maybe you could give them something to do by making a pillow, sharing it with the rest of the world, and maybe someone else will see your work and you could make one and they would make one, and it's just a big community together. Okay, so here we go. So here's our first ties together. I'm going to go back to this side. I'm going to tie them. I'm sure yours will be in a bit more of an orderly fashion than this, but for today's live demo, as I'm going, I'm working standing up. So what you need to do is you need to tie all these ties around the whole entire of the pillow. The cushion, the pillow, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So if you haven't got a cushion to work with, one of the things you can work is with some stuffing. I'll show you that now. So I managed to salvage a bag of stuffing, and being creative, I had an old duvet. So what I did is I actually took the old duvet apart and saved this stuffing from landfill, and I'm going to use it and I'm going to turn it into a whole new cosy corner for my kids by making these no-sew cushion pillows. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, just bear with me. What you need to do is you need to tap into your creative ways while we're through this isolation period, this lockdown, the advice that we've been to stay at home. I'm getting my words tied today a little bit, as well as my pillow tassels. So keep going with that. Tie it all the way around on every single tassel. Now, if you want your tassels longer and a little bit more boom, just remember, don't just cut the 3 inches, maybe go to 5, and you will end up with a longer tassel, and it'll kind of stick out a little bit more. And here we go, that's my progression so far. I'm going to tie these tassels together. Okay, so has anybody who's watching today maybe made another video or made a cushion like this before? I'd really love to see it. Or if you go on after watching this video today and make one yourself, I would really love to see it also. After my the videos that I've made previously, I'm getting a lot of inboxes from people and a lot of posts on my timeline about things that people have made. That's really inspiring to me because it makes me want to continue and it makes me feel what I'm doing is a good thing. So can you see that? We've knotted, well, some of these together just for the live demonstration purposes, and then what you'll end up with is a no-sew cushion effect. Now, if you are using stuffing and you're not using a pillow, I would suggest you tie these together and then you stuff the stuffing through the hole you have here, and then tie them after. That's exactly how I made this red one. This is stuffing from an old duvet and a piece of fabric I found around my home. I knotted this side, knotted that side, knotted this side, stuffed the top, knotted it after. Bob's your uncle. Ta-da! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been a really quick one today because I've got things to think about maybe making next week. So if you have any suggestions about things that you want to see, things that you want to see me made, or you have a question for me, or you want to challenge me to make something, I would really love for you to get in touch. I've just seen that Abby's popped up with a question saying where's the best place to get fabric from. Okay, Abby, I don't actually buy my fabric, I always get it from a recycled project. So I use, and I have been known to use, my husband's shirts, old covers, fabric, duvet covers. This is just a duvet cover that I no longer liked, that I've been keeping and hoarding because that's the kind of person that I am. And I've cut it up today to use it as a project for my home. So saving it from landfill, making something for my home, making, you know, use of what I've got. I can't go out to the supermarkets and buy fabric, so really look around your home to see what you can find and upcycle it. That's what I special in, is upcycled materials. Okay, so Okay, great. Thank you, Abby. Keep up with that then. So like I said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it was a short one today. No sew pillow. Very, very easy. What I suggest you do, because I'm aware that I talk a lot and quite fast, go back to the start of the video and go over those steps. Measure your fabric, measure the corners, join the square, cut your tassels, draw your tassels ready, cut your tassels, make 2 of them, put them together over your pillow, tie the tassels, and absolutely it is that easy to make yourself a no-sew cushion for your family home. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, stay mentally healthy well, stay good, look after yourself, and I'm sure I'll catch you another time. Lots of love. Bye.